Namaste and welcome to the Transformation Immersions mega series. I'm your host Sonal Singhal, a holistic healer and a transformational coach. Through this series, I'm on my unique mission of contributing to the lives of people all over the world. I'm very happy to introduce and welcome Jill Schimmelpfennig in today's talk. Jill is a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner and a licensed acupuncturist. She is also certified bioenergetics practitioner and certified Qigong instructor. So welcome Jill and as many of us came hi, as many of us came in the field of healing because of personal life experiences. I wonder what in your life inspired you to become a TCM and energy medicine practitioner.
Oh, that's a great question. I originally, my family is in medicine. My father's an MD, his father's an MD, and there's a lot of nurses and medical practitioners in my family. And I really didn't want to go that route. But first of all, my best friend got really sick with cancer, and I did a lot of caretaking. And I got really connected to what I would call like divine source energy when she was really sick. And I just felt like I turned into a bit of an energetic channel in a way that I never had before. I don't know if that happens to people a lot when they have somebody who they love who's dying. But anyway, so I decided I did want to get into healthcare. But around the same time, I started to develop really bad chronic back pain. So I was in pain so much of the time. Now, I didn't realize it at the time, but a lot of that was repressed emotions. So after a few years of the pain and trying, painkillers and seeing bone and joint doctors and physical therapists and massage therapists and, people that my father recommended, he's an MD, I wasn't getting any relief. And one day I just said, I'm going out into the woods and I'm not coming back until I figure out what's going on with my body. So I went out into the woods and I started meditating. I just sat there and I really felt into the pain and it was really intense. And then I started playing with my hands and just opening and closing them slowly and starting to feel the energy between the palms of my hands. Mm-hmm. And so I did that for, probably about half an hour or 45 minutes. And the pain in my back and neck, it just disappeared. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is crazy that this could happen. So I started going out to the woods every day for like the next 3 or 4 months and just meditating and then just opening and closing my hands, moving my hands around, feeling the energetics between the palms of my hands. And I realized that this was my medicine. This was the way in which I could release the tension in my back and joints and neck and that. And so a few months later, I was working at a hospital as a nurse assistant, planning to be a nurse. And I just realized it was not going to be a good fit for me. And there was a traditional Chinese medicine school in my neighborhood. And I was walking my dog one day and I went and got paperwork. And I got that paperwork and filled it out and enrolled in the TCM school there, traditional Chinese medicine. And then about 4 months in, they started teaching a Qigong class. And in the class, we were playing with Qi. And I realized like, oh my God, this is what I've been doing in the woods. So it all clicked in and it was very synergistic. And yeah, I've been doing that medicine ever since.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting to hear that. And then what about the energy medicine? I mean, this Qigong you call energy medicine, or is there something else beyond that?
Qigong is a form of energy medicine. Qigong translates to vital life force cultivation or work. So you could call it energy work to simplify it. What I do is medical Qigong. So if you've ever heard of Tai Chi is also a type of Qigong, but that's a martial form that can be used for fighting. Whereas I do medical Qigong. So it's a healing art form. And yes, that's energy medicine. And that's also just what I was doing out in the woods, just playing with Qi, breathing, feeling into my body. And since then I've learned many different forms and forms for more specific things, but it is literally as simple as sitting down and just feeling into your own energy. And really the simplest form was the one that helped me the most with my healing.
Jill, apart from Qigong and TCM, you also practice another healing modality called bioenergetics. Is it a healing modality?
Yes.
So I wonder what
it is. It's also a form. Oh, okay. It's also a form of energy medicine. It looks at the quantum fields of the body. So it's really based on quantum physics. The Nest bioenergetic system was created by an acupuncturist. So it is very similar to some of the TCM ideas, the traditional Chinese medicine ideas. But bioenergetics just means the looking at the energetics of a living thing. So instead of looking at the chemistry of a person, we're looking at the energetics. And so I have a system that I use to basically give people a biofield scan and see where there are energy imbalances or energy distortions in their body. And the bioenergetics that I work allows me to do remote scans. So I could work with somebody in India or California or Jamaica or wherever. So it's a really, I wanted to incorporate the Nest bioenergetic system into my practice, since so many of us are having to work remotely now. So it's pretty cool.
So I just wonder, like, how do you use that remotely? Because is it some type of apparatus or what it is?
It is. So I have a computer system. And so if I say I have a client in India, what they would do is they order a scanner, and then they have a scanner, and I set them up with an account, which I'm going to offer everybody on the call a free account if they want to learn more about the Nest bioenergetics. So they have this account and they have a scanner, and they just put their finger on the scanner, any finger they want, kind of like a mouse pad. And then the machine checks their energetics, which sounds really wild that it could do that, but it's looking at the quantum fields of the body. So it does a scan, and then we'll sit down together via Zoom call or on the phone, and they'll have access to their biofield scan. And so will I, and we'll discuss it and figure out, basically it'll give a reading on where the highest level of energy distortions are. So it can be around an organ system like the liver, or it can be around a meridian system, which is a line of energy, or it can be around the field of the body and how it's connecting with the Earth's fields. So when we see those energy distortions, we'll discuss them. There's lots of natural ways to help those, and most of those have to do with like reconnecting with the Earth in different ways. And I also will prescribe them infoceuticals, which is structured water imprinted with information to correct the energy distortions.
So can you use bioenergetics for treating chronic diseases or say cancer, for example? Is it possible?
You can use it for all of that. You can use it, and the bioenergetics will look at something on an energetic level. So it's really getting at the depth of the thing. So a thing that Western medicine oftentimes does not address very well, I don't think, is that there's a lot of emotional patterns that we have that affect our energy field, and therefore, and then further affect our physical structure. So if somebody is constantly angry and having a certain emotional reaction, it creates a pattern in the body. And so that pattern will eventually lead to a physical manifestation. Now, we acknowledge that in the quantum healing that we do. We acknowledge that in traditional Chinese medicine. I believe Ayurvedic medicine acknowledges that. It's kind of Western medicine that doesn't get how much the emotions affect the body. So when we can correct the energetic fields by helping to shift the way somebody thinks or feels about something, then that's really true healing. We're shifting their energetics, and then that will affect the physical structure.
So in bioenergetics, there are some methods like that, huh? You will teach your clients.
Oh my gosh, yes. Having the tools of Qigong is one of the favorite things I give my clients, is these really slow moving meditations to focus their mind internally, to calm down their breathing, and to oftentimes give them some kind of visualization to work with. And it starts to shift their energetics, and it will start to shift the reality that they're experiencing.
So Jill, you are also a TCM practitioner and licensed acupuncturist. So I would like to know, like, what can be treated with these two approaches?
Well, I mean, I work a lot with gynecological issues. I have some clients who are coming to me for fertility stuff. I see a lot of chronic pain, depression, anxiety, autoimmune disorders. What else? Headaches, arthritis, gout, Bell's palsy, stroke. If you come in quick enough, it can be very helpful for stroke. Now, a lot of people want to come in for one visit and then be done, but it's going to take multiple visits because we're shifting your energetics. And the acupuncture, I mean, it's a holistic system. Now, there are some things that Western medicine, of course, is going to be better for, like certain surgeries, or if you get into a car accident and stuff, you're not going to go see your acupuncturist. You're going to go to the emergency room, which is where my dad used to work. But for holistic health, for long-term health, for these chronic issues, it's seeing an acupuncturist. Or
so are there any other modalities apart from bioenergetics and qigong and TCM and acupuncture that you apply for helping your clients to heal?
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of stuff I do with people that to help them shift their thinking about their disease. I think that's one of the things is sometimes people think like, well, I've had these migraines for years. I just want to get rid of these migraines. But the thing is that the migraines are not just migraines. There's also thought patterns associated with them, areas in their life where they're not fully off their truth. So sometimes when we work on the things, it may go away, but it sort of scares them because it's unraveling other parts of them. Our process in this life is to keep evolving and keep expanding. And as we drop some of our stories and some of our chronic pain issues, other things come to light. It's like we're never done, right? So I try to give people tools to deal with that and maybe a more holistic understanding of healing, as opposed to just like, hey, with me, you're not just going to take a pill and we're going to numb it out. Like this is going to be an expansive journey for you, and I will accompany you, but it's going to be you doing the healing. You are the healer.
So I think you have already told me that about your clients, or I don't know. I mean, do you have a typical clients approaching you, and then what is your method to heal or treat your clients or help them? Do you have a particular approach?
Well, I like it if I can get them on like a program where they're seeing me for like 6 months. That's ideal. But even if they don't, I always like to give them an exercise. I like to give them, we'll do qigong together. We'll always do acupuncture, and I'll use, this is one of the devices I use for bioenergetics. This is a My Health device. It's a pulse electromagnetic field device therapy. So I'll use this on their back and shoulders and different areas where there's energy distortions that come up in the scan. So those are some of the things I do. I'll oftentimes help them like with gently suggesting like more water, go to bed before 11 p.m., turn off your internet at night, just different like what I would call like the basics, like free healthcare, get outside, take off your shoes more, try to give them advice like that.
So the device that you showed me just now, I mean, you can use those for virtual clients also, or the clients who are talking to you virtually, for example, me.
Right. So this is an in-person device. I can't use on somebody virtually. What I do with people virtually is I teach them Qigong. We talk about lifestyle and make some changes there. And then we do the structured water, the infoceuticals. So the infoceuticals are structured water and printed with information. But when somebody comes to see me in person and they have chronic pain, I will use this on their body oftentimes because it helps to adjust the flow and the cell metabolism, and can help with like what we would call qi and blood stagnation in traditional Chinese medicine. Mm-hmm. So this is a great device. Sometimes I'll sell it to clients. It's expensive, but if a client can't see me locally mm-hmm. and they want to mm-hmm. have the device, then they can buy it and we can work together, and I can tell them, you know, on their scan, they can see where the energy distortions are. If it's in the large intestine or the liver or, you know, the temporomandibular joint or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And you just mentioned about this structured water infusical something. What is that?
Mm-hmm. So structured water is basically what's in our body. You know, our bodies are made up of, 70 to 85% water or something like mm-hmm. that, where the majority of us is water. Mm-hmm. And so inside of our bodies, though, it's not H2O really, it's more structured water, which is H3O2. There was Dr. Polak. He is a scientist who did a big study about structured water. So anyways, we want to have more structured in the water because it's a better carrier of information through the body. Mm-hmm. So the inventors of Nest Bioenergetics put together a form of structured water, which stays structured partially due to like some Himalayan salt and some mm-hmm. other minerals. Mm-hmm. People can get more structured water by swirling their water, by drinking high quality filtered water. Mm-hmm. Coconut water and juicing vegetables helps you get more structured water. But anyways, this structured water is really healing and really important for the body. So that's why the information is put into the structured water, so it holds and the body can take it in more and use it.
Mm-hmm. So it's like you will just give them tips and then they have to use water in that form. It's kind of that. Or we don't need to purchase any structured water, or do we need to?
You don't need to. It can be helpful and it can smooth out the process. But I mean, really, I am trying to give people as many tools as they can so that they can understand like their healing is within their own hands. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Everybody's healing is within their own hands. And the more we open up as channels and vessels and do Qigong and tap into the energetics of the earth, the more we can access that information for what we need. So I'm here to facilitate and help. I oftentimes do suggest the structured water, but it's not necessary. It will depend on the client and kind of how committed they are to their healing process. That's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Jill, you have already given us so many tips, but still, do you want to give some useful tips to quickly bring back our lost mind-body alignment?
Well, I do think, and I really love that everybody's watching this interview, but I would say be so mindful of what kind of information you're taking in right now. And your emotions are your guides. And if you take in information that makes you feel scared or angry or resentful or negative or apathetic or disempowered, keep that in mind. And then when you're taking in stuff that feels good and uplifting and makes you laugh and makes you feel inspired, pay attention to that information. Mm-hmm. And it is really your choice which one you choose. So I want to remind people like that. That's our medicine too, info take into ourselves, and we don't have to believe things that we don't want to believe. We are such huge creators in our own lives, and oftentimes we don't know that.
I agree with you. So thank you, Jill, for joining us and giving us so much of useful information.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
On different. Yeah. And I enjoyed thoroughly conversing with you and learned something new today. I would like to inform our viewers that if they are interested in learning more about bioenergetics and receiving a free ebook, then use the link given and to create a free bioenergetic account with Jill. Once you open this account, you will get access to free movies, podcasts, music, recipes, and exercises to improve and balance your energy. And I also checked Jill's website and found an impressive Qigong tutorial, and I recommend watching that too. So thank you again to the people from all over the world who chose to watch this resourceful series. I hope that you are taking benefit of this series, and please feel free to share among your friends too to enrich their lives. And do let us know your thoughts on today's interview on my Facebook group, Body, Mind, and Soul Healing. Keep watching the Transformation Immersion and stay aligned energetically in your body. Bye bye for now.